There we go. Okay. So I started the recording. Let's see if it works. Hopefully I don't lag that. Yeah, so I was just going to go over the very basic, like the very, just installing ROS and getting started and everything like that. So I'll open up Firefox. Oh, apparently I get all my tabs back. Let me minimize this and then X out that one. Okay, so for everybody that already got into Ubuntu and they have everything set up, first thing you'll probably want to do is go here and type. And the first thing that's going to pop up is this one here. It's ROS Wiki. So you open that up and it brings you here. And you see it says core ROS tutorials and it says 1.1 beginner level. Really, everything that you need, that you'll really need to know is in these, the beginner level ones. But I mean, you can if you want to. But yeah, so to work with the stuff that we're working with, you want to do these first 20. And today I was just going to go over the first one, just installing ROS and getting everything set up. So I'm going to click on the first one and it's going to bring me here. And the step one is just installing ROS itself. Yep, but it actually installs it. And to do that, here it says ROS installation instructions. Click this and it brings us to a different page. It brings us here and it asks us which version of ROS do you want? Do you want noetic, melodic, or kinetic? And the version that we're going to be using is melodic. Our code and stuff like that is on this version. And I think everybody also downloaded Ubuntu 18.04, and this is the recommended version for that. So I'm going to bring me here. It's going to say select your platform, and obviously we're doing Ubuntu, so I'm going to click Ubuntu. It brings me to the actual. So it brings me here, and that's the full tutorial there. So I'm going to open up a terminal very quickly. So I guess I'm opening up two terminals. See if it lets me. Oh, it's very hard to move stuff around here. Okay. All right, there we go. So now we have the terminal opened up. So the first step here, your the last, somebody just asked, yeah. So the last workshop that I did, it was on installing Ubuntu and like using this terminal on the right side here. So if you don't have Ubuntu, I definitely recommend going and getting it set up, because all of the higher level pro doing is on this Ubuntu. You but just to continue on, so to set up ROS, first thing you're going to do is you're going to come here. I don't think you're going to need to follow this guide. I think everything should be set up already, but if this first line here doesn't work, then you can click on the guide and get started with whatever that is. But yeah, so first step here, it's basically all you have to do is right click. You can either do right click paste, or if you don't want, I just have to delete it. Or if you don't want to do right click and paste, you can also do control. One thing, you have to do control shift V. So over here, if you want to copy, you can just do control C, but in the control shift. Yeah. So first, your computer, I'm going to be downloading you can trust that site. Um, you can run that. It asks you for your password. You can put that in. And it asks for your password because you're running a sudo. And if you remember from the last tutorial, sudo means like for level stuff like above the computer. So I'm doing. And the stuff on this ROS website you can trust running sudo stuff. But yeah, so you run that line and then you come down. So we just down and it says to set up your keys. It's a little hard to copy. You can just do that. Copy and then come over here and you can paste that as well. And that's all you need to do. Here, alternative. So if you ran this line up here, you don't have to run this line here. So you can skip that line. And then you come down here and it says sudo apt update. And this basically just updates your computer and makes sure that all of the most, basically just makes sure it does. Did I mess up? Try it again. Okay, there we go. Now it worked. I don't know why the first one didn't work. If something doesn't, for me, it says there's 450 packages that can be upgraded, but everything else is basically up to date. Yeah, I don't think I should need to worry. Finish the sudo apt up, and it gives you 4 different versions of ROS melodic that you can download. So the first version is the desktop full install. And this basically downloads everything ROS related onto your laptop. There's a little bit like downgraded from that. It's just the normal desktop install. So this first one here comes with RQT. It comes with R and stuff like that. So I would because some of the ROS tutorials also and if you want to work on other projects, there might be a chance that you might need those simulators and stuff. So I would definitely recommend getting this one just to be safe. If not, and you're trying to save space, then the second one is the one that you want. RQT and important stuff because we'll see in future tutorials we're going to be using. So I also used it like last workshop. I showed you guys like those graphs, and those are done with these two. So it's definitely recommended to get one of the first two. And then after that, you don't want to really get these. This one comes. It comes with all of the ROS packages, but you don't get any of those graphical. And this one, you don't want to download ROS packages. There's way too many to download, so you don't want to do that. But what I'll do is, what you would want to do is you would just want to copy that first line, paste. And then mine, it says 0 upgraded, 0 installed, 0 to remove. That just means like I already have everything. There's nothing to change. Long download phase and try to get stuff. Line here. I don't need to run any of those other. And then I don't need to worry about this line here either. It just, if I want to find available packages, I can run it. So like I can copy this line and then go enter here. And it'll just show like that if you want, like it just shows the names of every single what it is. But I mean, it's extremely long and you don't want to sit through that. There's
Oh, I
yeah,
downloaded
after
the whole
that,
thing. I downloaded the whole thing. Is that still fine?
sorry, you what?
I did the installation yesterday, but I did the full download. It did take a while, yes, but is that fine still?
Full download as in the second one here?
The full download.
Sorry, people are racing outside. You say the second one here?
Yeah, the full. No, the full. I did the full because it was recommended.
I don't know if it's my laptop. Could you type it in the chat?
No, I did the full install.
Uh,
Is that
I'm
still
not able
fine?
to hear. Okay, well, I don't know if you're talking. I'm not able to hear you. I don't know if my laptop is
Oh
having
no.
problems or what.
Can you hear me
If you,
now? Hello? I did the full install. Is that still fine?
the desktop
No, the one above it. Yeah, that one.
yeah, so I mean, the first one is definitely the recommended one. That's the one that you want to get. That's also the one that I just ran here.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah, so this first one is the best one. The farther down you go,
Okay then. That's all I
the
need.
recommended one. That's like if I go up 2 lines here, that's the one that I ran. You're good. That's definitely the best one to get. Yeah, but moving on from that, the one thing you can do is this line here just sets it up. And basically, whenever you want to use ROS, you have to run this setup.bash line to save yourself the hassle from doing that every single time. All you can do is just paste this here, and then basically every time your computer starts up, it'll run that line automatic. You don't have to run it every single time. Source just updates it and makes sure that that's like the one that we're using. Um, yeah, and then moving on from that, this is the same right here. And if you want, every single time you open up like a new terminal, I think, or every time you start up your laptop again, you're going to have to run that line. But if you do this line up here, you don't have to worry about that. And this is another version of either. So we can skip all of that. And then this here, this just installs, I think it installs Python. I'm not completely sure. ROS will be using. So if I'm able, there we go. If you grab that line, it runs, and then it tells you after running this line, 3,000 bytes will be used, megabytes, and I have room for that, so I'm going to press Y and then enter, and then it goes and it processes, it sets up, and then you're done with that line. So that was it. It just downloaded all the stuff that ROS might need, and then you can go down to the next line, and this installs ROS dep, and that's ROS dependencies. So um, actually, the line was run right up here, so I don't think this line will do anything, but we can try it just in case. It'll probably say, yeah, it says 0 upgraded, 0 installed, so that means, so so if you see here, sudo apt install python rosdep, up here, sudo apt install python rosdep, it runs this line, it just adds in extra stuff. But after that, you can copy that and do sudo rosdep initialize and one. So you guys won't have one, but I already have one, so I don't have to worry about it. And then there's an update as well in case it needs to set some 200 errors. It's probably because everything is already set up already, so it doesn't want to update stuff, or the GitHub is having problems or something. But I don't think you guys will have problems with that. I think it'll be set up perfectly fine. Like getting all of the ROS stuff installed. So whenever you guys go through it, you know which lines to skip. It says everything here in the comments, but sure you can like put the speed on 1.5 in the video, and you can just zoom through and just skip the lines that you don't need to run. But now if I press the back arrow a few times, and I come back to here, I'll go back one more time actually. So after what we just went through was the ROS installation instructions. After that though, now that we're done to the environment stuff, so if I run, so now if I copy this line, it would get a little bit annoying because this dollar sign is in front of it. And if you see down here, there's a dollar sign here as well. I'm gonna type in clear actually just to get a fresh page. But I'm gonna have to make sure I get only what I want. And so if I paste this line, basically what it'll do is it'll tell me raw stuff are installed and what's going on. So it tells me I have melodic installed, and then I check root here, and I see it's an opt ROS melodic share ROS, and I think that thing that you guys should be reading as well. And you see package path is the same, and you see like your distro is melodic. Then you got ROS, everything is set up, and you're ready to go. Yeah, and then you're good with all of that. And then you can skip everything after that. And then here, if you run this line, you're gonna have errors. So if you just come here and you just run this line without looking at it, it says no such file or directory. And the reason is that here it says distro. You have to put in your distro. So like here, they put in kinetic. So for us, we're using melodic. So if I run this line, instead of using distro, I would replace that with melodic. Because if you look up here, that's the version that we're using. And then now if I run that line, it actually works and it'll run that source. Yeah, and then after that, it just says ROS workspace. Yeah, and it gives you two options, one with ROS build, one with catkin. And the one that we always use is catkin. So that's like I think it's the simpler one and it's easier to use and everything. So we can go for catkin. And it's, I'm not sure if it's up to date or anything like that, but just catkin is the safe one. So here it tells me mkdir. If you guys remember from the last one, that's just make directory. So make directory -p. And then it wants me to make a catkin workspace folder. And then I'm not going to name mine catkin workspace. Name mine. Let's just name it ROS workspace. How about that? And then /source. And I type in ls, we can see right over here. Now I have a ROS. And if I go, I have a source folder in there as well. Right, so then it actually wants me to go into this workspace, so I already did. And then it wants me to catkin make. And this catkin make basically like formats the entire folder. So it'll go and it'll run this long line. And then now if I type in ls, you'll see I have a build, a devil, and a source folder. And if you go into those other folders, it just has a bunch of other stuff, a bunch of there. If you open up devil, it has other setup stuff in there. But the folder source, and in here, you're gonna like put all of your codes and all of your stuff like that. So you can ignore the other two folders. There are gonna be some lines that tell you to do stuff. So like this next line here, like you can ignore this part. The next line here tells you source devil /setup.bash. Basically, it's just this terminal configures it the way that we need it to use. But to run it, you want to come back and you want to be in this original folder. You don't want to be inside the source folder. So if you grab that line, it runs it. And then finally, the last thing that you have to do, just to make sure, is echo ROS package path, if it lets me. There we go, got it, finally. If it lets me. And then this will just tell you, it tells me, okay, here, if I go to this folder, this is where my melodic, this is where like I'll be running all of my melodic stuff. All you need to do to really get everything set up, and then now that you have ROS set up, like any of the following tutorials, some of the tutorials work off of a previous tutorial. Like for example, you can't jump down to here, like number 11, because it says change tutorials. And to do beginner tutorials, or to make beginner tutorials, there was one of these first 10 lessons. They're gonna have something in there that says make a folder named beginner. And yeah, but tell through what every single one of these lines does, it would take way too long to actually explain. Like source does, you can read all of these little notes whenever you're going through it, and it explains. To be honest, if you want to use ROS, you don't really need to know all of that. Like if you want to program, you don't really need to know. I'm sure Ricardo would want you to know whatever. If you're working with me, you don't really need to know what every single one of this stuff does. You just need to run it. If you look at all the notes, it's decent to have like a general make directory. I just made a folder. I just moved make. Let me see what it did. Okay, it made 2 other folders and it has stuff in there, but you don't need to know like going into the build file. And, let's pick one. CMake cache. Like you don't need to go through this and see like what does this line do? What is this about any of that stuff? You just go on your way, go into the source folder and make your codes, and don't worry. But yeah, so that was setting up. After that is just different ROS commands. Basically, they just took every command and they added ROS in front of it. So so I'll ignore all that. I'll just come down here. So like here it says ROS change directory. So this is like if you have some ROS packages you're trying to, or print working directory we already know, and then ROS ls instead of just ls. This lets a certain package, you can do ROS ls, and you can already you can use it and it'll print what's over there. Like this second one, it's not really super useful. There is, I mean, if you want to go through it, you might use it at some point, but in reality, I've almost never used any of these commands here. It's decent to go through just in case there's something in here to set up. Like I saw all the way at the top, it says, please install this. So like you might refer to, so maybe you'll want to install it. So like if you go here, distro again, so you have to put in the one that you're using. So I'll type in melodic, install whatever this package is, and then you can run like all of these commands after. But I mean, to be honest, you're not really going to use these commands very much, so this second one isn't very important, but about ROS. important is this third packages and stuff. And I think I'll save this for the next one. Whoops. I don't know what happened there. Save this for the next workshop. But this, like all of the packages, like this thing that I'm in right now, if I go back, this section here, this is a package. So like if that was too much, yeah, there's too many files. Never mind. I'll just type clear. One command, by the way, is tree, and it'll show you like all of the folders and all of the files that are so like if I go into source, let's say I make a folder here and I name it, and then I go into my folder, nano A, and I put something in there. Now we have this A file and it's in the my folder. And then if I go back, let's say to here, and I type, it tells me from where I am, I have a cmake list.txt, and that's this. And then I also have a my folder, and that's that. And then in that, I have A. So that's sort of like a complicated thing. Let me go into my own workspace. Like I have this huge one here. It'll print out, okay, so in large as well, hold on. I have to go into, let's say I go into the RoboSub folder. I can type in tree. This is my, here, finally something small. This is my RoboSub folder. These are in my C++ package file. I have all of this. In the Pi one, I have all of this. In Robo nodes, I have all of those. Statement, a useful command. It just takes on the, in here. But yeah, that was all. I think that was all I was going to go over. It was just to make sure completely lost when tutorials. Click on the first one. Don't miss, if it opens, don't miss this line right here that says before you start, do this, because if you just skip to this one, it's not going to work. So make sure you click on this and click on melodic and click on Ubuntu, and then you're set. But yeah, that was all I was going to go over. Was there any questions?
Hey Aren, I think Levon wanted like the download for Ubuntu. Do you mind sending it to him?
I hope I didn't lag too much while I was talking as well, because I know the internet's unstable thing popped up a couple times, so I'm assuming it might have been a little bad.
Guys, what is this for, by the way?
And what is this for? What is downloading ROS for?
Yeah, like the first one, Ubuntu or whatever, and then ROS. Is that used to program the sub or whatever?
Yeah, so like if I go back, actually I'm in it right now. Here, let me start over. Let me go clear. So to work with a bunch of the stuff, so ROS stands for Robot Operating System, and in it there's a bunch of different to like program your system.
I
For
see.
example, like I'm let's do state machines, for example. If I go into here, you'll see I have a few files in here and a bunch of stuff like that. But one of the things in here is this, let's say this task 1231. Run this. It's in, let's open it up. Let me show you. Task 123. So this is the entire code right there. That's basically it. It doesn't have like anything in it. It's just like, it basically just repeats this same, and it just says like task one, task And this is like a super simple state machine.
Yeah.
And the way that it works is with ROS. So like to set up this state machine, the state machine is built on ROS. So like if I want to look for it, like if I search up smash ROS, this smash thing, this smash is short for state machine. To use it, it's in stuff. Some of them are ROS related, some of them aren't, but you would need ROS to run this. And then the state machine is used, that's like the brain of the entire, for both ASME and RoboSub, it's like the brain of the entire robot. So like here it says, start with the search state and then transition to task or task and pass or fail. And then you have like a tracker and like all of that stuff using, right? But if I open up another terminal over here and I do Python and I run this file, it's going to say, oh, you're not running ROS, you need to run ROS. So I open up another terminal, and I run ROS. Now this file ran, and I can do ROS run RQT graph like this. Oh, maybe RQT graph is the wrong one. Hold on. The one that I wanted was what's the state machine one? I forget. Smash view. Did I do something wrong? Smash view. What the command was now. Let me see if I can find it really quickly.
Isn't it under the state machine? State machine and then the robo test 1, 2, 3 and 5.
It might just be smash, but it might, so it's probably not. I thought it was smash view _ viewer, but I guess I'm wrong. I'll check right now and see if I can find the command. Let me see if it's in here. Okay. Well, we could also just search it up here as well. So like if I open up and then the bottom one here. And this tells you how to code it down here. So like if you see all of these lines are set up at the bottom here. Sys.start, outcome, ROS_py, and then sys.stop is all set up. Yeah, it was smash viewer. What? That's weird. I thought I tried to run that. Let's try again, I guess. ROS. That's very weird. Smash viewer. Py. Huh. I'll see if I can find out what was running. When I was running these ROS tutorial lines, my own package, because he was looking for that, maybe like got updated or something, and now this one doesn't want to run. So I'll have to go through and see like where was this installed up or something, but maybe I'll have to reinstall if I have to. Like I'll show you guys all this whenever we're doing state machine stuff, but state machine stuff you also have to install, so I'll tell you how to install it and how to use it and everything like that. It tells you like why you would need it and gives you like this whole complicated thing and all that, but I think I'll stop there and just work on this separately, because
Is this sorry, but if I'm just starting out, will I be able to follow along? Let's say if I go back to last week's thing and download that Ubuntu or whatever, and then get through this video, I'll watch it again on YouTube. Will I be caught up or no? What do you think?
Yeah. So if you go back and you watch the last video, basically, huge bar in the way. If I minimize this and so this background here, if you see, it's basically it's the Ubuntu background. So the last tutorial just how to open up this terminal here. The last tutorial just went over different commands you can use in here. So like I said, like ls prints out everything. CD lets you move into one of the folders, and then you can print out everything there. And I just went over the last one. You're caught up with everything already.
Perfect. Aren, can you send me the link, or is it just enough to go on a YouTube and you explain everything in the video?
Yeah, so if you watch the video, the very first part, I go over how to install it. So you
got
could
it.
like pause it and you can like and you can write out like all the links and stuff. But I also pasted it in both the RoboSub and the ASME Discord servers, and I can paste it again if you want.
If it's not too much trouble, please, that'd be great.
To this, and so if you need, yeah. But I was basically saying there's different ways you can install it. You can laptop that I'm on right now is a laptop that's just dedicated to Ubuntu. So it's like 100% has Ubuntu on it. But you can also make it so that like your own laptop has like whatever your laptop is, or you can do it as a window. You see here how like the terminal is like a window. You could have it so that your laptop is this normal one, and then Ubuntu is just running in this window here. And that's like the basic 3 ways to run it.
And as far as having all this stuff on a laptop, is it, how much, do you know how much memory approximately it's going to require or not?
I think it's about like 30 gigabytes.
Oh, okay.
If you want to, yeah, I would say it's about like 30 gigabytes.
I should be able to do that.
Yeah. Another way to do it is if you have like a separate drive or something, you can upload Ubuntu onto that drive.
Yeah.
And then every time you plug it into your laptop, it'll open up, it'll basically Ubuntu off of that drive, and then laptop. But I mean, if you don't have a drive, you'd have to purchase one, so that costs money. So I mean, the cheapest and easiest way to do it is to just do it like a window on your laptop.
Yeah, I'll probably do that. I got like 100 gigs left. It it's able to run together with all the other stuff.
What other stuff?
Well, I mean, like, you have like a separate laptop for it. So, but you're saying like I don't have to have a separate laptop for it, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Sorry, too many questions.
No, sorry. I don't know if you're cutting out. Just if I think because my internet is bad, so it's kind of hard to hear you. But I mean, like, I think everything that I can do on this laptop, you should be able to do in that window.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Gonzo just commented that the performance will drop because I just downloaded the SolidWorks and I'm learning that, and for the class too. But yeah, that's cool. I'll work it out. Thank you, man.
Yeah, sorry if you're talking, it's really hard to hear you. I'm just gonna end the recording so the video doesn't go on for forever.